All right, guys, welcome back to Hard at Work Real Call. We're joined by our two favorite co-hosts, Danny and Raider Brenton. Tonight is the draft that kicks off in 57 minutes. I know everyone is ready to go. A lot of trades have been made since the end of the season, including a few of the Eagles players. I know trades have been crazy. What have y'all seen since the season has ended and Danny won his Super Bowl?
Well, first of all, we got to say, we have to say, congratulations. Greatness, honestly. That was a fantastic Super Bowl run for you. I'm really sorry that I ever doubted the four-set trade because, honestly, dude, seriously, it worked out
To,
for you. You won the Super Bowl, so,
to be
congrats.
fair, Forsett wasn't that great of a product in the Super Bowl, but since I did win the Super Bowl, I guess I can say he somehow magically made it happen.
So, we got to say congrats, man, honestly. Great run. You brought it home for the NFC, so I ain't even mad. I ain't even mad.
Yeah, there's been a lot of trades going on actually. A lot of people, in a sense, selling out for this draft. I don't know if there's that great of prospects available that people can take, but a lot of movement this year.
Yeah, my video is froze up on my end, so
Yeah, it was pretty much a face of you doing this the whole time.
yeah, it's the face of y'all doing whatever y'all are doing. So I hope it's not froze up on the YouTube end. I'm sure it is. So as long as we got audio, we're all good. I'm hoping it's not going to kill the broadcast.
I'll be right back, guys. Carry on without me for just a second.
So, but we do have the draft order as of right now intact. I know everyone's getting antsy. It's been pre-draft hype for the past 72 plus hours. So, Danny, I know you got the last pick in the first round.
Yeah, the great benefit of winning the Super Bowl is getting the pick 32.
Yeah, I think they ought to change the NFL rule and
Whoever wins the Super Bowl should get pick one. I think that's fair.
that's a fair deal, or at least you have a choice.
All right, so when Raider gets back, we're just going to tell him that we're just going to swap picks to make things fair.
I had something I was wanting to talk about tonight, other than the draft, which is the most important thing. But
Yeah, obviously the draft is, since there have been a couple of days of dead air, essentially, the draft is what's on everyone's mind. People are trying to make last-minute moves to move up or move down. Some people possibly not going to be available for the next draft, so they're trying to trade into this draft but trading out of the last draft. So there could still be a lot of moves made before the 8 o'clock kickoff time, which we're actually under an hour now, so getting closer and closer.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
yeah, it looks like we're gonna have video complications this whole show, because I know if I leave, something's gonna go wrong, and I'm not gonna be able to get back in.
Well, then let's just wrap this up as quick as we can. All we really got is a little mock draft here for everybody, and we'll wrap this up, and then we can all go fuck off for another hour until the draft. So, who wants to start? Let's see. Shit. Let's just start with like 1 through 5. Who wants to take 1 through 5 real quick? We got Cowboys at 1, Eagles at 2, Jags at 3, Jets at 4, and Chargers at 5. Who wants to start?
Well, since I do not have the list, I probably would not be a good idea for that.
I'm trying to make it where you can see the list.
Yeah, I can't. I don't. All right, so I'll start because I have a feeling who we're going to see at number 1. Cowboys trade the world to get pick 1. They got to go quarterback. They don't have a pick 1 next year's draft. Tony Romo's old. I don't believe Romo makes it through this next year. I think he retires at the end. I think the Cowboys are kind of forced due to lack of draft picks in the future to go QB.
Hello?
And I think they take Jimmy Russell. I think a lot of Rustlage will go on tonight.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Thank goodness. All right, we're back. Okay.
We could legitimately hear you the whole time.
Oh, well, thanks for being douchebags.
Well.
All right, so Danny, who are the Eagles taking it to? Keep in mind they just traded away Kendricks.
Yeah, I mean, we're going through. I've heard a lot of rumors floating about. I've heard quarterback's a possibility due to the fact that Sam Bradford
is shit.
Is garbage. But I think the Eagles have more rooms. Trading away a player like Michael Kendricks, I think, is a good sign of the direction they're going. I think they're taking the stud linebacker that everyone wants in Wayman Lucas.
Yes, sir. I would have to agree with you there. But who are the Eagles taking it to?
It'll be a last-minute decision. Maybe 2 minutes into the second pick. I don't
highly
know.
doubt that.
No. Connor Taylor's on the board.
He's no Joshua Lucas, though. Let's be real.
But you never know who's
throwback. We just had a throwback.
So.
Ironically, yet again, we have a last name of Lucas as one of the best players in our draft. That's pretty fucking funny to think about.
Well, I'd much prefer the Lucas names over the Silkamana names that Madden sometimes come up with.
No doubt. Okay, we got Jags at number 3 from the Saints. What are the Jags doing at 3?
I think the Jags are, in my personal opinion, I didn't go over this with you guys beforehand, but in my personal opinion, I think the Jags are hoping one of the two QBs fall. I don't think they believe in Johnny Manziel, and I don't think Tim Tebow is a long-term solution for Worm. I think with a better QB, Worm wins a lot more games. So I think he's hoping that Connor Taylor or Jimmy Russell falls to him.
All right, so we got Jags going QB at 3. Worm's upset that I won't confirm who I'm taking at 1, which just makes me feel a little better about our pick at QB at 3.
I've got a Dallas jersey that we can hold up and present the number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
You want to hold up and present the number 1 pick in the NFL draft?
We always could.
Well, I'd have to go charge my phone, but we could walk right in there and present the shit out of the number 1 pick. I'm going to have to charge my phone anyway because it's 10%. But, so, anyways, we got the Jets at 4. I got the Jets taking O-line. What do you guys think? I'm saying Chris David is going to be the first O-lineman off the board out of a great O-line draft. What do you guys think?
I think Chris David's probably the best offensive lineman in the draft. So, why not go ahead and knock him out in a heavily favored offensive lineman draft?
Yeah, the right side of the Jets line is super weak. A top-tier rookie lineman can really help turn that around. I'm always wary about picking offensive linemen for people because we all know in Madden people love skill positions. So we'll see how things go. And you also have to remember.
Man, I know in Madden people love skill positions, but what position do the Jets really desperately need more than O-line right now?
I mean, they could use a real quarterback, but
that's also a good point. But let's think about which quarterback is going to be left that's worth taking at what's that, number 4 overall?
Deion Phillip.
So what are we going to flex here? We're going to say it could possibly be Deion Phillip.
3 quarterbacks and 4 picks. That's possible. The Jets having a second pick in the top 10 could really favor a quarterback.
Well,
I really think it would be smart for the Jets if he could pull it off to trade back maybe to like 10 or 11 and pick a quarterback up there and add more picks in the future of the draft.
The Jets are at 7. They got the pick from the Colts at 7, so that's huge.
He could honestly, with his first-round picks, he could end up with a monster offensive line with the right picks.
That's what I'm thinking.
You got to think he's got the legacy player, Jebediah, or however you say his name, Joe at left tackle.
Jebediah Joe.
Just traded for Josh Sitton at left guard.
One more piece at O-line and a quarterback or a wide receiver away, I think.
He's definitely got the potential there. Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, both still there.
Brandon Marshall being incredibly old.
Against the Eagles at home, so
All right, so we got sort of a wild card coming up next at 5. We got the Chargers, who just got took over by Z-Car. I'm not sure if everybody knows that. But Z-Car just come back. He's taking over the Chargers. They got a lot of needs. What are they taking at 5? I got him down as O-lineman Matt Marshall. What does everybody else got him at?
Yeah, offensive lineman's going to be a big help for them.
I mean, when you look at the situation he's left in due to people not being re-signed and whatnot, he's only got 5 total offensive linemen on the roster right now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to really build back the depth. He does have 3 solid linemen still, but he's got his work cut out for him getting the roster back in shape.
All right, coming up at 6, we got the Skins. I don't think anybody's shocked by this. The Skins are taking a quarterback. They got nothing left. They got Robert Griffin III. G-Money's already made it pretty apparent he doesn't like Robert Griffin III. I got him taking QB. Anybody got any guesses who they're taking?
Well, if the Jets don't take Deion Phillip, I think it will be Deion Phillip. But if the Jets pull the trigger on quarterback early, I'm going to have to go with Ryland Hyde.
I got him pulling the trigger on Ryland Hyde myself. So.
Yeah, with my one pick in the first 4 rounds, I don't have much scouting information. So I will say they'll go more than likely with the quarterback. RG3 isn't what he used to be in Madden. So.
All right, we got the Jets coming in at number 7 from the Colts, which I guess we can essentially say was probably one of the best trades ever. They traded an aging center who gave up 10 sacks and got a first-round pick that turns up being pick 7. I got him taking a wide receiver. What's everybody else got?
I'm gonna say double dips for O-line.
For O-line.
I honestly believe with 2 solid pieces on the right side, he could have one of the best offensive lines in the league. And offensive lines can make an average halfback look good. So.
Yeah, as we can see in Dallas with LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, average.
He's not average, son. You let him go before his prime.
So, number 8 coming in, the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Who do you think they're going to pick up here?
I got the Bears taken. Granted, he's available, a linebacker. Dorian Knox is my guess. Best linebacker available. Bears in desperate need of a pass rusher and desperate need of a linebacker. This guy can do it all. So I got the Bears. Assuming that Wayman Lucas goes at 2 to the Eagles, I got the Bears taking Dorian Knox at 8.
I honestly believe that looking over their roster real quick, because I didn't do my homework beforehand, I think they have to go cornerback. They only have 2 cornerbacks on their roster.
They don't have any left outside linebackers on their roster, so they're sort of stuck in a pickle.
Is the Bears guy active? Does anybody know?
He's active as far as I know.
Okay. But I think he has to go cornerback. You can always move Melvin Ingram or Cornelius Washington over to the left side, but you definitely need at least 3 decent cornerbacks to be good.
I'm gonna run the rest of them real quick. So I'm gonna let you take over at 9 at the Steelers. I'll be back in just a second. So who do we think the Steelers are taking? I'll go ahead and take it here real quick.
Man, I think Pittsburgh, as good as their situation really is, defensive back-wise, I think we've come to the conclusion they might pull the trigger and go ahead and take Juwan Hart, the best corner in the game. For him to fall to number 9, that's a pretty big drop, considering I was looking at him for number 2. So, when you got any thoughts on who they're going to take at number 9?
I mean, I think my defensive setup might have shown people an idea of what's important in this man, and I do think having 3 really good corners is a key to being able to have an easy job on defense. And I think if he added another corner, that'd be a really good move for him. Otherwise, his roster is pretty good. If there was a good tight end, I would say he could use a tight end, but the tight ends in this draft are not good at all.
I've been here the whole time. I agree with everything you said. I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, I think if somebody takes a tight end in the first round at minimum, we might be looking at the dumbest Madden player of the cycle. So,
I don't know who everybody else picked, but I got the Steelers taking a defensive back at 9. That's what I got.
Same.
So, on to the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, let's be honest. If Seattle doesn't take O-line, they're stupid. Let's just be honest here.
Well, considering he let his entire starting 5 offensive line go to free agency, I feel like, yeah, he has to take offensive line.
Yeah, that's definitely where I'm saying there's a first-round tight end talent. I don't think he's worth first round.
Worm also thought Johnny Manziel was a competent starter, so let's just move on.
So now we're to the Bill Gate, as I would like to refer to it as
I would like to let Ibo take this one. He thinks he has a pretty good shot at guessing who it is that the Bills think is their pick at 11. So I'm going to go ahead and let Ibo take this one. Danny, you all right with that?
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Man, Keller has been talking that he, I didn't follow all of Keller's backstory on it, but two people were talking about, actually it was Arlen's big draft board saying Riddick and Morris were, the top 2 left ends or defensive ends of the draft. But Keller said that there is one more that's better than them, and I think Keller's going to pull the trigger right here with his first of his 2 first-round picks. He's going to jump out and grab Antone Taylor, who is a 83 speed, 21-year-old with a B+ pursuit and B in finesse and block shed. He's got good acceleration, and he's honestly one of the top-tiered pass rushers in the draft. So I think if Keller goes pass rusher, we're going to see Antone Taylor get pulled off the board right here.
Antone Taylor. I got that as my first reach of the draft.
I'll play devil's advocate here and say we all really know who Keller's going to draft, and it'll be whatever the best linebacker on the board is.
He swears up and down the Bills aren't going linebacker until the 4th round, but I know better than that. So
Keller has confirmed Taylor will be in the discussion at number 11. So
listen, from a brief look, I would say that Keller's looking for one of the top 2 corners to fall to him. He's got Gilmore, but outside of Gilmore, his corners aren't anything special. But I'm still guessing linebacker for sure.
Yeah, corner would put him at Shaquille Ellis. So we could see linebacker Ellis, possibly Terrell or.
I'll be right back, guys. I got another thing to go do real quick. Y'all go ahead.
So now we're going to get to the number 12 pick of the draft, who Fokker says he has 4 players. We all know one of them is Wayman Lucas. I can almost guess that another one is a linebacker. And seeing 2 linebackers have been taken already. That leaves the Giants, I think, going ahead and jumping on Riley Brooks, who's a first-round talent with a storyline to him. Riley would actually be a great pick at the number 12 spot. I think he's got the good enough talent to play there.
I mean, it's a shame anybody has to go play for the Giants, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's always going to be the I don't see any division titles coming to New York. So
look, everybody that's anybody knows that all the division titles go to the Cowboys anyway.
Yeah,
we'll see how that works out.
You can sit over there and collect your division titles, and I'll just sit over here and collect my Super Bowls.
Look, bruh, you won 1, all right? Don't get a fucking big head about it.
I can't predict the Giants. Fokker's unpredictable in my mind. I think Fokker's gonna do what he normally does, and he'll draft a 6th-round middle linebacker and hope he turns into Donnie Franklin again.
All right, we're coming back up on the Eagles again at pick 13. I got the Eagles taking quarterback here.
No.
Sucks. They don't really have anything behind him. Eagles got to go quarterback at 13.
I would agree. I think the Eagles don't have a quarterback who is capable of getting them to the playoffs. And with Wayman Lucas apparently being such a consensus can't-miss prospect, I think they go Lucas too, and then I think they go quarterback at pick 13.
All right, Ibo, what are the Eagles taking at 13?
Man, if we followed the draft board, I will not have a quarterback that I want to pick at 13. So it'll come. Honestly, I've got about 2 more players that could go here at 13. If not, I'm going to fall back. But definitely, if one of my top 3 quarterbacks don't fall to me, there's no way a quarterback's going here at 13. So we'll just have to play that one by ear.
Eagles throwing smoke screens confirmed. All right, Danny, I'm going to field this one to you. We got the Pats at 14. Who are the Pats taking? What are their needs? Everybody knows the Pats are loaded, so what are they taking at 14?
It's so hard to predict what the Patriots are going to do because their roster's so good. I don't think he actually is interested in a quarterback. I think he's going to give Garoppolo a legit shot. I think he's looking offensive line. His interior of his offensive line, he's got a 31-year-old Carl Nix who started losing his blocking ability. His right guard is young, but he's not that great. And then his center is pretty much in the same position. I personally think the Pats go offensive line and try to shore up that.
All right, Ibo, Pats, 14. What are they taking?
Man, I've actually got the I should have wrote down positions, but I didn't. So I don't know what the Patriots are doing because I didn't write this one down.
I got the Pats taking wide receiver Patrick at 14, assuming he's available.
Yeah, that's what Patrick is a wide receiver. That's who I had. So, yeah, I think the Patriots could use another weapon if Garoppolo turns out. And, we still got a lot of time left in the cycle. So, the first draft sometimes isn't going to be important trying to build off your quarterback as much as it is trying to roll the dice to see if the quarterback's going to make it.
Yeah.
So,
at the same time, though, getting a quarterback now as opposed to the later drafts, this quarterback will be your QB for the entire cycle, and you'll have an extra year worth of experience getting pumped into him that guys in the future drafts won't have. So I do think that getting a quarterback now, if you need one, is the smarter decision.
Like I said, I'm going to say wide receiver. I'm going to stick with it. We're going to move on here. We got Browns at 15. Aku has been shopping Danny Shelton of late, so I got my pick as defensive tackle. I don't know the name, so I'm gonna say he takes a defensive tackle because he's shopping Shelton. So why do you shop Shelton if you don't have a defensive tackle waiting to be drafted? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, offensively, he's got a pretty set offense. I'm just not 100% sure why you would move a player like Danny Shelton just to bring in another defensive tackle right behind him. He's done magic with this roster, and I would go on a limb and say he's going for another corner. He's got 2 decent ones, but I'm still a firm believer you need 3 decent cornerbacks to excel defensively this cycle.
All right, Ibo, what do you got him taking at 15?
Man, I got him taking in my opinion, the best defensive tackle in the game, Devin Lofton. So.
All right, we're going to move right along here because we got about 34 minutes before our first draft. We need to get through this list because if you guys want to see me take the number 1 overall pick live, we need to be through the list. So we're going to move on to the Lions. The Lions was sort of a tough thing for me and I, but we argued a little bit about it because I think they're one defensive player away from winning 8 of their games that they lost. He thinks that maybe they need a halfback to take the load off Abdullah. We sort of met in the middle ground and took a halfback. So me and Ibo, unless he's changed his pick since then, we got the Lions going halfback Green from Wisconsin at 16.
Yeah, I just don't see a good enough. I think top talent's going to have to go in the first round. I don't see top enough talent for him to fill, except taking Francis Green right here at this pick. Because he fell back, he had the number 2 pick and he fell back to the Eagles pick. So obviously he's got a little plan in his head of something falling back to him.
Yeah, you have to take into account too is Abdullah didn't have the best season his rookie year, and this isn't Madden 15 anymore where you can't draft a good halfback. So I think Francis Green, whoever gets him, is getting a stud. And I think he's going to be something special.
So you're saying Lions take halfback Francis Green at 16, assuming he's available?
I would say that, yes.
All right. Moving on to the Texans. Texans got 2 aging positions that I can think of that need to be thought about now. We got the cornerback position with Jonathan Joseph becoming a dinosaur, and we got the halfback position with Arian Foster equally becoming a dinosaur. Francis Green's off the table because the Lions just took him. Me and Ibo agree on a cornerback. I don't know who. Ibo says cornerback. Who was it again that you picked?
Shaquille Ellis.
Shaquille Ellis. All right, so basically, Danny, what I'm asking is the Texans, the best halfback available has gone off the board at 16. Where are the Texans going at 17, if not cornerback Shaquille Ellis?
So you want me to pick someone other than that guy?
I mean, if you think it's Shaquille Ellis, you can pick Shaquille Ellis.
I mean, I'm not. Like I said, I haven't actually done much scouting because I only have one pick in the 4 rounds. I do think that he's going cornerback. I think RFF is gonna turn his defense into something to be feared, and I don't think there's gonna be any quarterbacks worth even looking at this point in the first round. So I think
he's also spent a lot of time developing Savage, so I don't see him going quarterback.
That's true.
All right, moving right along, we got the Panthers up next. Assuming our board holds up, me and Ibo pretty much consensusly agreed that the Panthers are going defensive end Andre Riddick at 18. Too good of a guy to pass up at 18, or do you got a different idea, Danny? What do you got?
I like it. I like that pick. I think that's a good pick for him.
Yeah, that's if Keller pulls the move on Antone Taylor. I think, honestly, and I've seen it in the chat box, that Antone Taylor is the best defensive end in the draft. So we'll see who's available for these guys wanting the defensive end. So,
all right, we'll move right along to the Bengals. Bengals sort of a wild card. I don't know a whole lot about the Bengals' needs. Ibo, you got a guess on who the Bengals are taking? I'm guessing O-line. I'm hoping maybe you got a little more specifics for us.
I have Tyrone Boyett. Let me give you a little info on him. He's from Florida. You know, there's a lot of stud left tackles. So he's a 6'6" player, or he's 6'6". Trying to get his stats up real quick. His attributes, as Danny would say. So he's got B+ run block, B+ pass block. He's got 86 strength according to the math of Keller School, and he's fast. He's pretty fast for. I think he's one of the top 3 left tackles, if not definitely a top 5 offensive lineman in speed. So he could really play anywhere for you at a guard or on the outside. So I think Tyrone Boyett will go right here at the spot.
That's a pretty bold prediction. Tyrone Boyett expected to be a really good pick as far as my assumptions go. Danny, what do you think the Bengals are doing at 19?
I'm not sure. Just to be honest, I'm not sure what Jay's gonna do. If I had to guess, I would say Boyett as well. I think almost everybody is in need of line help. So, well, I guess not everybody, but some people aren't blessed with 90 overall offensive linemen at every position.
Okay, moving on. We got the Jags popping up again at 20. Assuming the Jags at 3 take a quarterback, Connor Taylor, we're assuming. Ibo, Danny, whoever wants to chime in first, what are the Jags taking at 20? I got them taking O-line.
I would say the same. Worm's been doing a great job of making the moves necessary to improve the overall talent in Jacksonville. And I think he just actually traded his right tackle, Jeremy Parnell, away to the Bills. So I think he is in need of one last offensive lineman to solidify what he has going there.
Yeah, I think if he really does take Connor Taylor, he'll be stacked with the offense he runs, having a fast quarterback that's accurate, and continuing to build that offensive line that could do wonders for your overall offensive game.
All right, good picks. Moving on, we got the Cards' first pick here at 21. My guess here is wide receiver, seeing as how they just traded away. They just traded away. Was it Michael Floyd?
Yep.
Browns.
Was that a turkey?
The dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when he kept Larry Fitzgerald, traded away Michael Floyd. Fitz is 33 years old, and behind Fitzgerald, you don't have any top tier like players. So
we're pretty well consensus that 21 Cardinals are going wide receiver. All right, 49ers. What are the Niners doing at 22?
I think he will draft a tight end.
Tight end.
No, not serious. Don't write that down.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think it depends on who's available. Narcissus or Narcisse or however the hell you spell that guy.
Narcissus? What, like the fucking... Really?
The running back, I think he may possibly go ahead and draft a running back that's pretty good.
It's almost as bad as attributes.
So
all right.
it'll be a toss-up.
49ers taking a Greek god at 22 in Narcissus. Chiefs, 23. Where are we going? I got them going QB. Alex Smith is old. They don't really have anybody behind him.
I would say quarterback too, but I don't think there's any first-round worthy quarterbacks available at this pick.
I agree with that.
I think they go wide receiver. You got Jeremy Maclin, but outside of Maclin, you don't really have much talent at the position.
I mean, you got garbage.
Chris Conley is actually kind of a stud, even though his overall is pretty low. But I don't know if anyone's ever looked at Chris Conley, but that dude's a freaking baller.
I know all about people with overalls that are low that are studs. I just got Tyler Lockett out of free agency for a steal.
If anyone wants to go trade the Kansas City Chiefs for Chris Conley, dude's a freaking Madden animal.
All right, looks like next up is the Browns again at 24.
Whoever he picks is taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
I really hope that's a joke.
Did you say the toilet bowl?
Actually, I don't have the Browns on here. It's the Broncos.
Oh, I'm sorry, Broncos. My bad.
I think he's going to have to take offensive line.
I mean, they're just about as effective as the Browns. They both won about as much. So we got Broncos taking O-line.
Yeah, they don't have a left guard at all.
Just talk to no one because the Broncos O-line is garbage. We got the Dolphins at 25. I've heard Arlen talk a lot about how he wants a cornerback. According to our draft, some of those good cornerbacks dropped to him. Does he take a cornerback or does he take something else?
I think he has a good cornerback. He's got Sam Shields, but outside of that, I don't really trust any of his corners.
Well, he's got an aging Brent Grimes.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people aren't necessarily drafting for the sim season as much as they're building their roster for the next user season. And I don't think Brent Grimes is going to be there for the next user season. So I think he's going to take a cornerback.
I would have to agree. All right, we got the Bucs, assuming they stay pat. I've heard rumors they're trying to move up, but assuming everything stays pat, we got the Bucs at 26. What are they taking?
Well, if I had to guess, I would say I'm repeating myself a lot with O-line, but there's so many different teams in the league that needs help on O-line that I feel like that's everyone's first choice. And
yeah, that was the big rush of the start of the cycle. Everybody was talking O-line, O-line, O-line. So, and now we're here.
Well, I mean, if you think back to the start of the cycle, even in waivers, O-line went real fast. So
I'm actually going to change it up. I do think he wants O-line, but I'm going to say that he goes and gets one of the first-round linebacker talents. He does have Levante David, but outside of that, he doesn't really have any playmakers at linebacker. So I would say he goes linebacker in the first round.
All right. What do you think, Ibo? O-line, linebacker. What are the Bucs doing?
Offensive line's what I got. So.
Line. I'm going to agree with you at offensive line. We're going to move right down the list to 27. We got the Bills again. I don't know whose pick that is they have, but, I mean, you know. He obviously
That would be the Dallas Cowgirls.
I would say that he is probably going to go with the linebacker here. I know that's not everyone's. I know that's a surprise to everyone, but I think he's going with a linebacker here again.
It's funny you say that because I have him listed as linebacker also.
I think he's just going to piss this pick away since it came from the Cowboys. And
I mean, it would only be tradition unless he could get a good O-line.
So,
Listen,
yeah, I'm linebacker too, so.
I'm not saying that Keller is going to use all 5 of his top 2-round picks to draft linebackers, but I think at least 4 of those 5 are going to be linebackers.
All right.
No linebacker will be left on the board by the time this draft's over.
Moving on to 28. We got the Ravens. I got the Ravens taking a halfback.
Yeah, letting
strong free agency.
Yeah, letting Skunk go. You got to pick up another halfback to cheese with. So.
I just want
halfback available.
I just want to give you a big thank you for letting that guy go so Coach can sign him. I'm really looking forward to dealing with that in the next few years.
All right, 29. We got the Pack. It's debatable whether the Packers deserve to be there or not. I'm not salty at all. Who are the Packers taking? I got Packers taking O-line.
You just got to win games, and that's what the Packers did. So I think he's going to go offensive line here.
When Madden decides game for you, that's exactly what the Packers did. But I definitely think you're right. He has to go O-line.
Ooh, I don't even know how to say anything after that, so I'm just going to agree with what you guys are saying.
Yeah, you should probably keep your Sim Super Bowl winning ass up.
Whoa. Man, I just ate McDonald's earlier, and their fries weren't even that salty.
Oh.
What's bad is I'm just saying that I literally just got the letter across my desk from Coach to pass that message along to you.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. Like every time I see Coach in chat, I'm just waiting for him to put an asterisk in chat. Like, all right, Coach, we understand. We understand.
The salt is strong with this one.
All
My
right.
Super Bowl will forever go down with an asterisk next to it.
We're going to be mailing you a trophy that's got an asterisk. That's all it's going to be is an asterisk on a trophy.
I personally had HaW's Deflategate happen season 1. We're going to call it Asterisk Gate.
Asterisk Gate. All right. Well, now that we know that Danny's Super Bowl has an asterisk next to it, Cardinals pick at number 30 again, according to what I'm hearing here. Who they taking? Why they taking them? What do we got here? Offense. Thanks for narrowing it down. Several skill position groups. I really appreciate that.
I said offensive line. Did you not hear?
No, I heard offense. Just like Danny did. That's why he's laughing.
I thought I said offensive line. God.
Nah, man, you just dropped that offense on us. Yet again, I think there's so many offensive line that'll be go at this point. I'm going to say he takes one of the outside linebackers available, just to add some variety here, because I don't think there'll be any quality offensive linemen left at this point, or not any first round linemen.
All right. Well, we got the Giants with the Raiders pick. I mean, you know, obviously it's smothered in the sharpest cheddar that you could possibly smother it in.
Before we talk about this pick, I want to bring up a problem I had with the last show that you two guys did that I was not a part of, where I got called a loser for the Forsett trade due to Forsett's production. That's fine. You know, I could agree with that. But you said Troy was a winner when Troy traded away 2 first-round picks for Jason Pierre-Paul, who had 14 tackles and 3 sacks on the season.
I called Jason Pierre-Paul a loser, I'm pretty sure.
I just heard Troy was in the winner category, and I didn't understand.
No. Troy was a loser for me for Jason Pierre-Paul trade. Just like he's a loser from the Super Bowl because the AFC sucks and they can't beat the NFC because we're just that great. So,
well, my name is Greatness, so.
Exactly. And there's only one greatness, and he's in the NFC. So all of you AFC teams can suck it. Anyway, moving on.
I'm gonna need to go deflate my ego real quick, guys. I'll be right back.
Sharpest of cheddar picks in the draft, the 31st pick, is the Giants, thanks to Troy trading for the most explosive player I've ever seen, Jason Pierre-Paul.
I'm about to hit you with the truth. My guess for the Giants is the Giants will somehow pick a random cornerback, and he'll end up being the best cornerback in the draft. I don't know how he'll do it, but that's what I think is going to happen.
I got him taking quarterback or whatever leftover scraps of O-line are left. But I like your style, Greatness. I like your style.
I like to keep with the tradition, you know.
Ibo, you got any guesses?
Man, I think he's gonna get a center.
Center.
Yeah.
Exciting. All right, we're going to move on here. It is approximately 6:43 or 7:43 if you are in the Eastern time zone, which I'm not, and so you can go fuck yourself. The Falcons select at 32 because they're the biggest cocksucker of everyone.
I'll take that.
Assuming nobody wants to trade with them, who the Falcons take at 32?
Listen, I don't know if people don't want to trade me because I won a Super Bowl, but anytime I try to trade somebody, it's like I have cancer and they just don't want to hang out with me or something.
Maybe you shouldn't have won a Super Bowl if you wanted to trade picks.
I literally think that's what it is. Or they'll offer me like, here, I'll take your first round pick, but since it's a late first round pick, you should just take my fourth round pick and call it a day. Like, oh yeah, that's God, why didn't I think of that?
Why didn't you think of that?
I'm just not the best trader, what can I say?
Yeah, we know. You went with a 4-set trade.
Actually, I can't confirm anything, but I heard Adrian Peterson was on an airplane to Atlanta. I have no idea what that's about.
I can't confirm anything, but that wouldn't surprise me. You're pretty much into over-the-hill running backs who have no production.
Well, we are now 15 minutes away from the inaugural Madden 16
Inaugural?
Yeah, it's the Madden 16 one. It's the first one.
It's inaugural.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Inaugural.
Tomato.
It's not like inaugural, like you just said. Inaugural.
That's what I said, inaugural.
Girl.
Yeah, all right. Here we go.
That's not right at all.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm taking a kicker in the first round. I don't know if we ever discussed that or not.
Look, we all know that you're not taking a kicker in the first round. If you draft your pick, you're taking a defensive end. That's who you're taking.
I just don't know if that's true.
I mean, you just blew your wad on Bruce Irvin, which was the most wasteful spending. So if I'm going to go down to the store and try to find, like, the cheapest, bag of money trophy and send it to you for the dumbest goddamn free agent signing I've ever seen in my life.
See, I don't feel like that's correct. The Chandler Jones contract and the Torrey Smith contract last cycle, I think, were way worse than the
We're
Bruce
not talking
Irvin
about
contract.
last cycle. We're talking about this cycle.
And I really thought the contract would be more than that.
If I could send Troy a dopiest fucking contract ever trophy, I would. But then at the same time, Torrey Smith turned around and had like that one catch that propelled fucking Troy to the Super Bowl he lost last season or something. So,
I mean, to be fair, you also called the 4-set trade a loss, and then I ended up winning the Super Bowl. So
but how much of that winning the Super Bowl was attributed to 4-set?
You could just go so many different directions. Like if Tevin Coleman was if he was the number one halfback, maybe he doesn't have the energy left in his body to break through the 3 tackles for the run.
Are you literally trying to say your stupid fucking trade for 4-set is the reason you won that Super Bowl?
I mean, it depends.
Quit dancing around the question, you prick. Are you telling me that you traded for 4-set and that's why you won a Super Bowl?
You could make that argument, yes.
No, you couldn't.
You could. I mean, you can't confidently say that if I don't make the 4-set trade, that I still win the Super Bowl.
Yes, I can. You know how I can make that argument? Because
I'm
if you
listening.
don't make the four-set trade, you still have Julio Jones.
Yeah, Julio Jones is pretty good. Last I checked.
All right,
Last I checked, he was
so
pretty goddamn good.
last-minute projections here. Who comes away with winning this draft? Danny, go ahead and shoot.
I think you have to say the Buffalo Bills. When you have that many picks in the top 2 or 3 rounds, and you have a good record of drafting solid players, and I do think it's harder to miss on players in the top rounds with the new scouting system. So I think there's no chance anyone can have a better draft than Keller with the amount of picks he has.
I say that. Honestly, man, I'm gonna say that the Eagles. If the Eagles hit on pick 2 and pick fucking shitty shit 13, if you can hit on pick 2 and 13, and them just be totally stud trades, like that's as good as it gets. Because let's be honest, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but Keller gave up LaShawn McCoy to get as many trades as he has, and LaShawn McCoy was still fantastic. Like, let's be honest, LaShawn McCoy, it doesn't matter if he went to my team, the Falcons, whoever he went to, he was going to put up that kind of yardage because he's still that good. So it's not like Keller gave up nothing and got something. He gave up something and got something. So I'm saying if the Eagles hit on both of these picks, the Eagles are the winners of the draft.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with New York Jets here. They've got 2 top 10 picks that they can really make a difference to their team with, and then they're going to pick the 4th in the second round. So, they're in the same boat as the Bills. They get 2 less picks, so, they come away with 2 less. But I think having them 2 top 10 picks, 1 in the top 5, really gives them a skill set to achieve greatness in this first draft.
Let's touch on who we think the losers are going to be real quick. And Brenton. I do think in the long haul the Cowboys are going to be the loser of this draft. Now, let me explain. I don't think you're going to miss with the first overall pick. I think whoever you pick at quarterback is going to be a stud. But the lack of picks for the next few years. What's your pick? Do you have a second or third round pick this draft?
I have a third round pick this draft, yes.
And what picks do you have next year?
4th, 5th, 6th, 7th.
So I think in the long haul, this draft is going to end up being a loss for the Cowboys, just for the lack of picks in the future.
I'm gonna agree, mostly because I gave up my third round pick next year for Duke Johnson, and I don't really need Duke Johnson. So I'm going to lean in the direction of, I guess maybe not so much as a loser, I'm gonna say, but not really winning either. Sort of like middle of the road, as the Cowboys are known to be. So,
like my personal opinion was the LaShawn McCoy trade. I can't say anything about. I was pretty much willing to make the exact same trade, but when you make a LaShawn McCoy like trade, and then you also trade up to pick 1, you just have to give up so much that it's taking away a lot of talent that could have been coming in.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like I can see where you're coming from, but I literally am getting a top tier running back. Like, I have a top-tier running back for at least the next 2 seasons. So I'll have picks by the time I need to replace him. And I'm also going to get one of the best draft picks, no matter how stupid I am in this draft. So, but I will agree that I'm definitely losing as far as this draft is concerned because I gave up a shitload to get to where I am. So, I mean, I'm not arguing my position as a loser. So.
All right, well, we are running out of time. I will say that my biggest loser, and it's not fair to the new Colts owner, but the Colts traded away way too many picks.
For sure.
So I'm going to say the loser of this draft is the Colts. Brenton, are you going to throw out the number 1 pick with the jersey live?
I mean, if everybody wants to sit around here for 8 minutes and see nothing fucking going on at all.
No, I mean, it's all
Brenton
good.
is saying he is not going to make the announcement until the draft has actually started.
Oh, you want me to make the announcement? The answer is no. You're not going to get an announcement.
It's all good. So, all right, well, I think that's it. We had the most viewers on tonight that I've ever seen. I'm pretty glad that...
Because they all wanted me to announce who was going number 1 overall, and the funny thing is...
Hey, wait, aren't you supposed to announce that award thing you were doing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, who was fucking GM of the year, Ibo?
Well, since no one voted,
I voted.
I had like 4 voters, including.
No one wanted to go via email. It's too hard.
Yeah. Next
I
time
voted
I'll
via
have to do
text
a
message.
message. So, we'll go ahead and say the second place. There's a tie for third between Greatness, Husker, and Arlen. So congrats to you 3 for tying for third place. Sitting at number 2 would be Freak Skull, the current commissioner of the league.
I don't understand that at all.
And sitting at number 1, somehow, some way, the NFC commissioner, Raider.
What?
So congratulations, you got voted General Manager of the Year.
This guy. Somehow I fucking win this stupid fucking award. Oh man, that's great. How many people voted for me?
3.
Man, whoever the 3 you are fantastic humans. This is as good as winning a Super Bowl. I'm gonna go have a trophy made to put on my shelf. I feel like I won the whole cycle. I mean, Danny can suck a fat dick. That's how I feel about this right now.
No. And if there was no last place votes, I would have to say that Fokker was the last place General Manager of the Year. The Lions won 2 games, the Browns won 2 games, but Fokker still would have been voted last. So, with that being said, good luck in the draft tonight, and we will try to have a post-draft show sometime this week talking about Season 2 and going forward from there.
Well, sure as fuck ain't going to be tomorrow because I got to be in New Mexico tomorrow. So.
Oh, New Mexico. So, all right, well, good luck on the draft, and we will see y'all in Mumble in the chat box.